Hey, what's up guys? So today we are gonna be diving into stride piano. So I'm excited to show you guys some tips and tricks for sounding really authentic and for exploring some of the different methods you can use to really nail the stride piano sound. So let's jump right into this stuff. So tip number one, if you wanna sound really authentic, is actually to keep your left hand voicings pretty simple. So it's actually gonna sound more authentic if you avoid using a lot of extensions. And by extensions, of course, I mean 9s, 11s, 13s, really anything past the 7. So if we're doing a G minor voicing, for example, we could do something like, so from bottom to top, that is 5, flat 7, 1, and flat 3. Okay, super simple inversion of a basic minor 7 chord. Let's say we're doing a C7. We could do something like, or again, these are just inversions of a basic C7 chord. So if we do those one after another, we can play a bass note. And keeping those chords simple really sounds authentic and old school. Now, there's also nothing wrong with throwing in a few more extensions too if you like that sound, but I just want you to have that tip that keeping your chords more simple is going to help you sound more authentic overall, depending on what you want to do with your own sound. Tip number 2 is playing tenths in your left hand. Now, don't worry if you can't reach a tenth, what you can do is simply roll it. So I can reach 10s on the white notes, no problem. So C to E up a whole octave here, 1 and 10. But if there's a black note like this F sharp, I can't actually reach that with one hand. So what I do is, if I'm doing a D major or D7 chord, I'll actually just roll it. It's like a jump, right? So using tenths in your left hand is really gonna help you sound more authentic, like pianists like Fats Waller or Art Tatum, just to name a couple of my personal favorites. But there's so many incredible stride pianists that you guys can listen to. And honestly, most of them, you're going to hear some form of tenths when they are doing the bass note before they jump to a chord. So when you're practicing that motion of left hand bass note to left hand chord, practice tenths when you can. Tip number 3 is to practice walking your tenths. So what do I mean by that? Well, the same way you can walk a bass line, you can walk your tenths. So when you're actually playing a song, you could do, really quick before we move on, guys, I actually have a new product available that is all about getting your stride chops up to par. So it's got a bunch of different exercises in it that are focused on different elements of stride piano, like nailing the left hand motion, getting different left hand voicings, and also some of the right hand elements of improvisation and playing melodies as well. So if you guys are interested in that, check it out at jazzpianoconcepts.com/store. Every single sale is incredibly helpful to me so that I have the time and energy to keep making these free tutorials for you guys. So thank you so much for your support, and yeah, I'm excited about this one, guys. I think there's some really useful exercises in it. All right, tip number 4 is about how we use the sustain pedal. So when you're very first starting out, I would actually recommend practicing with no pedal. But once you start using pedal, you don't want to muddy things up. You're gonna lose the rhythm and it's not gonna swing hard. So here's an example of bad pedaling. I'm just holding the sustain pedal down. It just doesn't really sound swinging at all. So one thing I like to do, and that a lot of stride pianists will do, is they'll hold the pedal on the 10 or the bass note and then release it on the chord. So that's just a little tip that's going to help you out there with your left hand articulation and getting the groove to feel good. All right, so the next tip is throwing in a little bit of a swing embellishment into your left hand bass notes. So when we're walking bass lines, we'll do things like, so these little 16th or triplet little embellishments to the bass line that help accentuate the triplet bass swing feel. A great one we can do here that you might have noticed me doing already in the video is taking your index finger in the course of playing a 10th and playing the 5th with the index and then landing the 10th. So try that one out, guys, as you're practicing playing 10ths with your left hand. All right, so let's jump into talking about the right hand a little bit here. So this is going to be a crucial tip for really sounding authentic when you're playing stride. You want to be able to play chords at the octave. So let's say we have E as the melody note, we play an octave, and then we insert notes in the middle. So let's say that our chord is A minor. This is pretty obvious. We've got 5, 1, flat 3, and 5. But what we want to be able to do is actually move this chord around, staying true to the A minor sound. So our A Dorian scale would be this. So the only black note in this scale is just F sharp. All the other notes are white, so that makes this one an easy chord to move around. We know we just have to hit F sharps, and we'll have that A Dorian sound. Now, that's just moving the right hand with these chords at the octaves around one single scale. But you want to be able to practice improvising in this way. So we could do like, so I'm not perfect at it, but you can see that I'm able to move around. And one other little trick I'll throw in there is that you don't always have to move all of the notes. Like you could do, and that's a really great way of getting that sound as well. So I'm keeping these two notes in the middle the same all the time. So it's B flat and E flat. Let's say we're on an E flat minor chord. B flat and D flat. And we're on this E flat minor chord, so we're doing F, F sharp, and we're just moving around the octave. So that's a really great way to help achieve that sound amidst playing these chords at the octave around scales. So another trick is, especially when playing stride piano, this is just something I've noticed, but I hear a lot more major 6 chords used than once you get further into the history of jazz, where it becomes more predominantly major 7 chords in use. So when we're landing on a 1, we can make it a 6 chord or a 6-9 chord. So let's do a 2-5-1 here in C major and land on a major 6, and you'll hear what I mean. So as you can see in my chord here, I've got 3, 5, 6, and 1. So it's a C major 6 chord sound. Okay guys, so the next tip is actually this little trick where you can place your thumb on a note and then use your 3 and 5 fingers to play a minor third and move them up and down in this little rhythm here like this. All right, so let me demonstrate this over an A flat major 6 chord. So that was just one example, but let me show you this over some dominant chords here. Let's just do F7 to B flat 7. So you see what I mean, guys? Alright guys, well that was a lot of tips to throw at you all at once, but they're all super fun and super helpful, so make sure you play around with them, experiment as you're trying to learn some stride piano, and I think these are really going to help you out. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you found this lesson useful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, please consider clicking subscribe and clicking the little bell to turn on notifications so you never miss any more videos just like this one. Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.